Welcome to Social Genius, brought to you by Drunk on Social, where we help you stay ahead of social media trends, share the latest news, and highlight the strategies that are working to help you grow your business. Now let's join our hosts, Tristan and Jeff, in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back for episode number almost 100. I think it's 97, Tristan. And I actually had to stop and think for a second how to do an intro, because we haven't done an intro in so long, because we do these daily shots and now we're going to do a long form episode. And what are we even doing right now?
Crazy. Well, you know what? We're always testing things out, right? See what works, what doesn't. And that's why I love this one, because we're going to be talking about what we should be looking out for in 2023 as far as planning tips for these 4: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And we're leaving YouTube out because we want to do YouTube separate. Let's start with Facebook. And I want to start with Facebook because according to the stats, it's still the 3rd most visited website in the world, right under YouTube as a social media, which, I mean, dude, it's not going anywhere. I thought for a second, like, Facebook's in trouble, but then they started turning things around, which is really nice to see. So here's where we start. From what we've seen, the algorithm is getting better. And over the last, since November, 4 months, possibly, we've seen the algorithm turn around and now start showing us a lot more of the organic posts from the people that were following us from a long time ago. And now you see, if you're posting routinely, you're going to see your posts now gather a lot more likes, a lot more comments. And if your stuff's inspirational, a lot more shares. And so where it all starts from is the news feed. That is where everyone goes and sees what's happening with you. But don't stop using Reels, because Reels is also blowing up. As far as the posts go on the feed, where do you recommend we start with that, Jeff? Like, what are we looking at when we're posting to Facebook for this year? Anything that you can say, hey, look, this is what you should be posting. This is what you shouldn't be posting here, specifically for the feed?
Well, I mean, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't Reels show up on the Facebook normal feed?
They do, right in between. But when we're posting on the posting side from our end, like we have to either upload a short video or a static graphic. And
I know what you mean. It's same as Instagram, but so it's very similar. And so I'll just answer this from my perspective. Personally, as it relates to Facebook, I continue to focus on all my Reels. Like, that's like no brainer. Take advantage of Reels because you're getting tons of viewership. They're getting seen. They're performing better than a feed post. Let's just call it like it is. If I post a feed post video versus a Reel, the Reel's getting more engagement. Other than that, for me, Tristan, it's so I continue to feed my Instagram posts. So I start on Instagram when we're going to get there, but those all feed to Facebook. My stories all feed to Facebook. And then I really put most of my effort into my groups. That's where I want to be the most consistent, because I think the groups I know, and I just read a stat the other day in 2023, Facebook groups are still the biggest and best placed to build a community. It's the only app that actually has that opportunity. And that was as of 2023. So I think there's a lot of reason to continue to go all in on groups.
I agree with you, man. I think groups is a big piece of it. And for those of you who are not part of groups, I think take a look at what your interests are and start looking to being part of those. But when it comes to the feed itself, here's what I'm noticing, and this is from me posting. I post a lot of just words in general. I don't do a lot of videos on there, except for like you. When I post to Instagram, I have it feed directly into Reels. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, what I've noticed is what's performing really well is the shorter text descriptions.
Because the color and look of it.
And generally, like, not a lot of words. Like, if we're talking about words, maybe like a sentence or two maximum. Once it starts getting longer than that, I think it becomes a challenge. I'm going to show you something. And for those of you that are not watching but listening to the podcast, what I'm going to do right now is share with you on my personal Facebook a post. It's one that reads, it's green. It's a green background, and it says, "Overthinking is killing growth in your personal life and in your business." It's one sentence. I posted it 3 days ago, and I'm going to take a look at the insights because this one got 953 likes, 167 comments, and 22 shares. But if we take a look at the insights, for those of you that are listening in, I had 17,000 post impressions, right? And it says my reach, that's the reach, right? 17,125. And the post engagement is 1,800. So this is just all organic. And I think that's really the power of what Facebook is bringing back. The ability for you to
something. Do you not cross post those over to Instagram?
No, not at all, because I tried initially, and we'll talk about it when we shift over to Instagram. I tried initially, and what I've noticed here, I'm going to stop sharing. Hold on, stop. I noticed that it only performs well when I share it as a story to Instagram. And some of those do okay. Like on the success side, those static posts they do really well. But for some reason on my Instagram, they don't perform as well. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I think that's a great idea, man. I think if they're performing well here, you should post them over there and test it out.
You just gave me an idea. So for anybody who's followed our lead and you're posting just massive amounts of videos like we are, or just, that's your most consistent posting strategy. Take every single video that you post and summarize it in one sentence, maybe two tops. Make sure you do that on Facebook. It stays in the color, because if it's too many characters, it'll go to all, and then it just doesn't have the aesthetic look. I know what you're talking about. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back through and I'm going to summarize my videos, my 90-second videos, with the most profound statement that I can take from that video. And that's going to be my post. And I'm going to see if that works.
Dude, that's what I like. And then mix it up, because look, over the weekend, yesterday, I posted just a picture, or Saturday morning, I posted a picture of our family. But even then, look, it got a little bit less than half of the amount of likes as a regular sentence. And I'm like, what? Right? To me, that's nuts, because I take a look at the insights. Post impressions, 6,300 in comparison to 17,000.
It's crazy.
So words right now, simple words are working. And you know what I think is going to happen? Because, all right, so that's that. Reels is also working really well, short video, but I really want to talk about now Instagram.
Okay.
Because if we take a look at what's working on Facebook, the simple words, I think there's something that's going to happen soon where you're going to start seeing the simple pictures that used to work really well on Instagram start performing incredibly well on Instagram. And I'm starting to see part of that take over, where we're seeing the pictures, the static pictures with music behind it. And I know you're watching that too, Jeff, where it's just a picture, you scrolling past it, and then there's music behind it. And I think that's going to catch on. It hasn't caught on yet, dramatically, but it will.
I'm curious. So I had a coaching call with the real estate team this morning, who I talk with regularly, and they were talking about what they should be posting to Instagram. And one of the agents asked me, should I still be wasting my time with posting pictures, or should I take those pictures and put them into a template and make it a video? And I said, well, listen, Adam Mosseri said they're going to start putting more of an emphasis on photos, but here's what you can do. Go to your Instagram feed periodically, scroll the feed for a minute. You'll probably scroll 20, 30 posts. Just see what's showing up. So I did that this morning, and it was as it has been. It was the only static posts were ads. Everything else on my feed was a video. And so frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I think Adam Mosseri was blowing smoke up our asses to appease the Kardashians and all of the OGs who said they wanted they want the platform to be Instagram again, right? I still believe video is where you're going to win, but test it, check your feed and just see. And if you start seeing more static posts, then maybe it's true. And then I'll play the game. But until then, I'm going to continue to go video, Tristan. But I do agree with you, man. And I've done it. I was posting SocialCon images and putting music behind it. And yeah.
Does all this social media knowledge, strategies, and skills from this podcast really matter if you don't use video? The truth is, any presence is better than no presence, but without video, you're really limiting your growth. It's no secret that video is the future of all media. It's where all consumers gravitate, so executing at a higher level than your industry peers is an absolute necessity to create differentiation. You can hire a full-time videographer, but is that really sustainable? The answer is no for many, which is why it is critical that you adopt and learn video skills to allow you to create video that will stand out. Having camera presence, knowing what equipment to use and how to use it, proper lighting, video editing, music and voiceovers, scripting, and many other topics are the reason why Business Video School was created. To teach you how to develop these skills quickly and easily with over-the-top support along the way so that you never feel lost. The Business Video School is a comprehensive video education platform that delivers all of this training, but also creates actual video recipes with instructions and scripts for you to execute relevant content weekly with all of the skills you learn. And it doesn't stop there. Regular video challenges, weekly Q&As, a real estate video roadmap, a community of people learning and experimenting with video, and so much more. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Why wouldn't you join the Business Video School today? Go to www.bizvideoschool.com/open-house and register for the next open house where you'll learn more and get a chance to hear from current students and even ask them questions. That's bizvideoschool.com. Check it out.
So I think with Instagram, I think test things out because it's continually changing. And for me, Jeff, I think if we look at Instagram, just again, the last 3-4 days, I'm going to show the back end. I don't know if I can connect it here. If you're listening in, I'm going to one that I did 3 days ago as well. It got 15,000 views and it's us doing the green screen thing again, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of doing so many of them that eventually the algorithm starts catching on and then starts rewarding you. The key is we're not stopping. Like we're continuing to go. It's like, ooh, that didn't work. Or, you know what? I don't know if we've tried it enough to know if that isn't working.
Yeah.
And for us, I really think that the green screen's working. The trending music is working. The pointing, the duets, right? When you're just pointing. I had somebody make fun of me on that one on we're not touching on YouTube, but on YouTube because I just copy pasted it.
Yeah.
And then it got 9,000 views over the weekend. The stupid one I did with Dave Ramsey, which is me pointing.
Nice. Yeah.
So look, I think for Instagram, use those things that they're telling you to use. Duets, green screens, music.
Less than 90-second videos.
Yes, less than 90 seconds.
Because over 90 seconds doesn't. Here's two things that don't perform well right now. Live doesn't perform well on Instagram, and long form doesn't perform well on Instagram. And you know why I think lives don't work? I know you know this, Tristan, but I'm going to tell the audience. I think they don't work because now audiences have become accustomed to captions. They've been accustomed to pattern interrupts. They've been accustomed to B-roll, and that's what they want. And so now they used to reward us for live. They don't want to watch us talking continuously for a few minutes. And so I'm literally, Tristan, vacating it on Instagram. I am not going to go live because I think it's a waste of my time. Why bother? I might as well just record it and make it sexy.
I agree with you, man. I don't think live works for the majority of our audience because it's not like we're actors or we have this huge following who's waiting for us to make an announcement or, hey, what's going on? Nobody's waiting for us. So lives aren't going to work for you the same. And I've tested it with Jeff. Lives kind of suck right now. Now that may change later on, but right now, terrible. Listen to what Jeff is saying.
Let's be very clear with our advice. Our advice is always right now. Like this is constantly evolving. This is why we created this platform, ladies and gentlemen. So you don't have to do the testing. Just pay attention and we'll tell you what works and doesn't work. And then just follow our advice. Green screen, duets, remixes. Come on, let's go.
Yep. And I think I'm calling pictures with music.
Okay.
I think those will start doing well. Right. And you know what I'm going to do, Jeff? You gave me an idea because I hadn't tested it for a while. I'm like, why don't I take that image? You're right. I tested it before and it didn't work, but why don't I take that image and put some music behind, some trending music behind it, and just throw it into, in fact, I'm going to do it right after we're done here.
Do it.
Actually, I'm going to do it right now as I'm talking to you, as I shift over to TikTok, because I think with TikTok, it's interesting to see, but I think we're at a moment where what works on Instagram is working on TikTok as well. Unless you think otherwise. Jeff, what do you think?
Green screen's working on TikTok. I am building it into my weekly strategy because it's driving engagement. I don't do as you know, I don't do much remix and duets, and I'm stupid not to, but I guess it's just because the creative monster inside me doesn't find any creativity in it. So I want to do the mashup. And the reality is I'm probably doing myself a disservice, but I can't help it. So it's an OCD thing, I guess.
No, dude, I agree with you. And you're not the only one who thinks that way. Because I like this weekend, this guy good job on just pointing. Right? I'm like, you know what? F you. And that one, by the way, that one was my best short to date. I haven't had one reach that many views. And I was like, you know what? Screw you.
Yeah, exactly. You watched, didn't you? Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I agree with you. I think we overthink it, and it's like, should we be posting that? So,
well, okay. So here's my rationale in favor of it. The traditional way of, like, if you're sharing a Dave Ramsey message, or I'm sharing a Gary Vee, or sharing a David Gott, I would just share it. So this is no different than sharing, except you're putting your face on the share, which actually is smart. Like, do that. The haters are going to hate because they just, anybody who goes on and talks shit is probably not doing anything, and they're just keyboard warriors. And honestly, embrace them, because all they do is help your engagement, because people will come to your defense. It actually drives engagement. Trolls help drive engagement.
Dude, agreed.
So bring it on, trolls.
TikTok. Let's go. TikTok. Green screen's working really well. Right. So whatever your niche is, grab an article. You know who started doing it? Sean Cannell. Sean Cannell just started doing green screen. The guy who has Think Media, 2 million followers on YouTube, subscribers. He's now grabbing any news that has to do with YouTube and going, hey, look. And you know what I noticed? Here's something weird. And at least it's weird to me. Check him out. He's grabbing a microphone and making sure that the audio is super crisp. And he's got a fucking massive microphone. It's like, and I'm like, interesting. Did we not realize that? Like, should I be doing that? Like, is audio that important on Instagram?
Or is it Instagram, or is he doing that on? Either doing it on YouTube or TikTok?
He's only doing it on Instagram. He might be doing it on YouTube Shorts too. But...
I mean, I use my wireless mic on all my videos, unless I'm like just remote or something and I don't have it with me. But I honestly, I think that's more of an aesthetic. I think it's I'm a newscaster holding a microphone type of thing there. Just like I did a video asking people why they hold the clip-on lav mics. I'm like, why are you holding the clip-on lav mic? It's got a clip on it. Clip it to your freaking shirt. But you know, you've seen people do that. Like, it's almost like a joke, but I really don't know the reason why. My guess is because there's something aesthetic about it, but I feel like that takes away the attention from the actual message. So I don't know. It is what it is. But this has nothing to do with TikTok. I love that one of their highlights is all about hooks, about the planning tips for TikTok. And you know, we've been preaching this and just begging you all to be better at hooks. And I do believe. I had an example from a buddy of mine, a local real estate agent here to my market. His son plays hockey, and he posts a lot of content with his son playing hockey, and it's really very entertaining. He does a good job with it. And his kid got blasted. Like, there was a collision, and he just flew off of his feet. He posted it. He put music to it, and it was about 30 seconds long. His son said, "Dad, remove the music. The audience needs to hear the hit." This is the son who got smoked, by the way. And he said, condense the video down to like 15 seconds. Guess how many views it was last time I checked?
How many?
1 million.
Holy cow. Oh, wow.
I go, what does this tell you? We need to listen to our kids more often. They know what works. And his kid was right. Like, shorten it up. Like, make the live sound. Don't try to put some trending music to it. They want to hear the hit. And it's just like, sometimes we overthink this stuff by getting overly creative. And in reality, it was a great reminder to me that, like, sometimes I'm overthinking what music to put to videos when it doesn't need music at all.
That's very true, buddy. You're very right. You know what it comes down to? It comes down to how often you're posting, and then it comes down to the hook. Like, are you going to grab my attention at the beginning? What is it? Like, tell me.
Well, they give 3 examples here, and I'm going to share them. Some of the top examples of hooks on TikTok. Listen up. Number 1, I wish someone had told me about this sooner. Okay, you're grabbing their attention. Number 2, if you aren't using enter product, you're missing out. And then last one, 3 reasons why a product is the best solving a problem. Those are the
That's
3
good.
top performing hooks right there. So if you're listening to this, pause, rewind, write this shit down, and incorporate it into your business.
And then once you're done outlining, I wish someone had told me about this sooner. Let's just say we go with that one. Then you go into ChatGPT, write out what that is, and then just be like, oh, those are some good ideas. 3 reasons why, put in the product, right? This is best, or 3 reasons why this helped me do that. Put that into ChatGPT, get some ideas flowing. I think we're forgetting that it's there, dude. We could just go in and be like, those are good ideas. I'm just going to do that.
Here's some other good stuff here. These are really good articles, and these are on our website, by the way, drunkonsocial.com, on our blogs. Just go check these out. These are, everything that we're describing here is there. They recommend keeping your captions under 5 words at most. And remember when they opened it up for like SEO purposes, and now they're telling us actually keep your captions short, because the main aim of your captions is just to guide attention towards your video. You don't want it to be too wordy and distracting. Isn't that funny how they say that? And then hashtags, it says, like everywhere else online, serve mainly as discovery aids that help keep your stuff aligned with your target audience. You can use external keyword search tools or make use of one already on the platform for more insights. So yeah, I mean, they don't give they specify captions, keep them short. They don't specify a number of hashtags, but use them as a discovery aid. In other words, make it relevant. Don't For You page bullshit. That doesn't work. So be intentional there. This is really good, man. You see this algorithmic considerations as well. This is my favorite of all of them so far. Recency is a factor.
Yep.
That's why news is so popular. Posting. Whoa. This is great.
Tell me.
Posting more. All right. You go first.
You got it. Go.
All right. Posting more doesn't impact reach.
Ooh, I like that. Well, dude, it's all about the quality of the content and the hook, right? It
says this mainly ties in with the above about the recency. In other words, it's basically the quality of the content. Like, don't just throw garbage out there. Make sure your content is quality. I still believe consistency is key, but I don't believe that you have to post 3 to 4 times a day like Gary Vee says. I think once or twice a day is perfectly adequate, and even just every other day is perfectly adequate.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I've been testing it out every day, 1 to 2, 1 to 3 in some cases, but I go with my cadences for sure 1 a day for me. And I'm looking at, do I have news right now? Because remember, I shifted over to news a little bit. Do I have news that's relevant to what I want to talk about? Right. So if I find interesting things, I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah. Oh, wow. I found another one. Oh, and then, the thing with news is I can't wait till tomorrow with news, because then it's old news. It's no longer news. It's olds, right? Olds versus news. There you go. Maybe I should do a whole thing on that. Olds versus news. This
is why it is so important, ladies and gentlemen. So when you're aggregating news, you have your local, and by the way, geo news is a great thing for real estate agents. Follow, consume a local news aggregator, grab a story at least once or twice a week. When you see it, read it, snip a picture, put it behind you, talk about it, get out. It's that easy. And you're going to win in the recency game when it comes to that.
Yeah. All right. Twitter. Let's go to Twitter. Twitter is, I think it's still gaining steam. I don't care what other people say. They're jumping off and they're hating on it. I think it's amazing. And I think it's going to get even more amazing. In the article here for Twitter that we have on Drunk on Social, we brought it down to the 3 C's approach. And that's concise, clear, and conversational. And I think out of all of those, the conversational is the most important. The better questions you ask, the more concise the messaging is, the better. I mean, if you think about how Twitter started, it originally started with a minimized amount of characters you can post up there. They just recently expanded it. So they want you to start conversations, ask questions, right? And summarize what's happening in your market and give us a graphic or two. So I think we as a real estate community, Jeff, we underuse Twitter. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. I think recency is also extremely important on Twitter. I think, to me, Twitter is most popular with those talking about things that are happening right now. So whether it's what's in the news, whether it's politics, whether it's sports, whether it's fashion, like what's going on in the world that's a hot topic, comment on it. And that's how you're probably going to drive more engagement. Twitter for me is probably, of the 6 platforms, it's probably number 6, even below LinkedIn. Believe it or not, I have more impact on LinkedIn.
What are the 6 platforms?
It's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's TikTok, it's YouTube, it's LinkedIn, it's Twitter.
Oh, good.
Not necessarily in that order.
Or Pinterest in there. Good.
No, I haven't. I haven't. I do believe, and we're not. This is probably a conversation for another day. I think Snap could be used. If you're consumer, if your customers on Snap, communicate with them on Snap. They're going to appreciate you for that, because that's how people communicate. But and then of course, Pinterest has its purposes as well. Just hasn't been for me.
All right, man. I agree with you. And we're not touching on YouTube today, but for now, YouTube's very similar to the short video TikTok, short videos on TikTok and Instagram, obviously minus the long form of it. That's all I got, man. What do you got? That's it.
Last thing I will say, I think most of these articles mention it, and they talk a little bit about ChatGPT. Keep paying attention, keep watching. Don't be lazy. ChatGPT is going to make humans lazy. The lazy ones are not going to get rewarded. So stay hip to what's happening with ChatGPT. Use it to make you more efficient, but don't use it to make you lazy.
You hear that, everyone? Stay hip. That should be our motto.
That's a good one.
Drunk on Social. Stay hip.
Stay hip.
Ladies and germs, stay hip.
Stay hip.
That's our sign off. Instead of what was our old sign off?
All right.
All right.
That's right.
Stay hip, everyone. Stay hip. So good.
Thanks for listening to Social Genius, brought to you by Drunk on Social. We are here to help you take your business to new levels through social media. Make sure to subscribe to get updates on new episodes, and come join us on our Drunk on Social Facebook page. And as always, make sure you leave us a great review on your favorite podcast app. Feedback and likes are very much appreciated.